Okay, so this is Genko Yoshi, or composition paper. Of course, we start over here and we move that way, okay? And as you can see, we've got right here, we've got the Genko Yoshi, front and back, and that should be enough for you, okay? Now, several things that you need to know. You probably need to take notes on this, okay? Number one, your title is here in the first line, okay? Your title is going to be in the first line. Usually Japanese go down a couple boxes, maybe 2 or 3. And your title is going to be wa, ta, shi, no, ka, zo, ku. What does that mean? My family. Watashi no kazoku. So that's your title of your essay. Watashi no kazoku. Ne? Okay? And then, in contrast to this, towards the bottom, you're going to take the katakana name that I provided you. Right? So let's say Ariel Kern. Right? Okay? So it would be Kang, Ari, Eru, Guru, almost forgot Ru. Okay. This is going to be at the very bottom of the second strip. Okay? So here's your title. Here's your name. Okay? No, for your name. Title, just indent a couple spaces down. Okay. So Japanese, when they start their essay, they usually will indent one box. Now I probably shouldn't do that. Because everyone's going to put an X there, and that's not supposed to have an X. Okay? But that first box you don't use. From now on, you're going to go and write from the top. It's almost like a hanging indent. Or no, excuse me, just an indent. Because a hanging indent, you use the box and then not use the next ones. Okay? So, as you write, you're going to say, wa, ta, shi, no, na, ma, e, wa, this, right? And that's going to continue on. With these boxes, so say you're going to say kya or kyu, let's say kyo. You would do ki, yo, u, like that. Okay? Put the little ya in the corner. Let's see what else is there. Okay. So, also, when you do a punctuation mark takes its own box, unless it is at the bottom. Unless you finish the sentence at the bottom and are about to wrap to the top, okay, go ahead and put that at the bottom. Okay, because it's weird to have a period up here. That makes sense? All by itself, it looks strange. So Japanese will usually put a punctuation mark, like a comma or a period, individually. Okay? And what else is there? Okay, so another Japanese punctuation mark is the quotation mark. You're not going to use this for a couple weeks. I don't think you're going to use it for quite a while. But the quotation mark that we use for them is this. So, arigatou, period. So that's how Japanese use a quotation mark for them. Okay? They use this little character here. And it takes its own box a lot of times. Let me see. Does it take its own box? Yeah, it does. It takes its own box. So again, unless you're at the bottom of the page, Usually punctuation marks take their own box. Okay, so what do I want you to write? Again, for each family member, 2 sentences. So, watashi no family member. No namae wa desu. Okay? So something like my father name is blank, right? My blank's name is blank. It can be your dog, it can be your cat. Okay? And then the age. So, watashi no wa sai desu. My blank is years old. Okay, so you should have 8 sentences, 4 people, 2 sentences each. Does that make sense? Not difficult. If you want to come and, well, just wait 1 second. Are there any questions about this? Okay, it's really, you'll find that as you write this, you'll remember your hiragana a lot better. And also, you'll start to understand kind of the flow of how Japanese write. They write vertically. Their essays always are written vertically. Okay, no exception. They're always written vertically, and they're always written from right to left. And that's why Japanese books almost always go from right to left instead of from left to right. And you can see here manga. Manga will use it as necessary. Okay, they'll use horizontal or vertical as necessary. So see here you can see a lot of a lot of vertical use. Okay, but depending on the art, you also have some horizontal use. And so that's the one thing that makes manga really adaptable for Japanese, is because they can put their speaking bubbles in 2 different directions. They can put it up and down, or they can put it left and right, right? They don't have to stick with English, which is always left and right. Okay, so that's what makes manga such a great thing. Also, the whole thing with onomatopoeia. So Japanese have a lot of onomatopoeia. So like this says, this opening door says paka. That's the sound of a door opening, paka. And then the sound of someone sailing, toro, 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 right? Like puttering. It's the sound of, something puttering along, so toro, 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 toro. And then these bad guys laughing, they'll right? So that's the one thing that, as a manga translator, for me, it was really difficult, because in English, we don't have those sounds. We have like boom and flash and spurple, right? But we don't have like a concrete sound for a lot of things, so I had to make them up. Okay, but yeah, that's what makes Japanese writing so malleable, and makes manga so malleable, because you can go vertically, or you can go horizontally. Okay, so that's your assignment for due Tuesday. Quite simple, 8 sentences, but you really have to write in Japanese. Okay, you really do have to write in Japanese. In hiragana only. Okay. The final thing I want to say, and I hope you were listening all the way to the end, is you can look up in katakana what your family names are, or you can just write. I would only use 1 box. Just write their name in the box. And you could write through it like that. I don't care.
Do I have to know right through it?
No. But if you want to write their names, if you want to translate their names into katakana and get a little katakana practice before we start it, if feel free to do so.
So, sorry, is it okay if I ask a question or no?
Yes, Emily, go ahead.
So, like, we're supposed to write an essay about our family?
Mm-hmm, their names and ages,
Oh, just like send it like my dad.
just like we did yesterday.
Easy.
All right, so it's gonna be a little bit more difficult for the Monday, Tuesday crowd because they don't have, they didn't get the pre-work for this, but they should be fine. I mean, all you really have to do is just kind of do this and you'll be okay. And there's the format for everything. Any other questions? No? Nobody? All right, that's wonderful.